Getting back to the roots, going back to what I've always been comfortable with, which is a good old fashioned rant. No rhyme, reason, nor structure, nor the pressure of being on a larger channel that I don't feel is all mine. So that's why, sorry, I haven't spoken much today. That's why I haven't gone on the Stuck in the Middle channel since the panel channel that we had with Bert and Lori. That was great. Hopefully, Josh will be coming back and showing me how to have a better setup. Aside from that, I get a lot of feedback about what the background here looks like. And to that, I say I fully understand, but until something is done, I guess we're stuck with this. Well, what to say, what to do, what to think. I know I wanted to go on here and rant about my own personal thoughts and feels, but who the fuck comes around for that kind of shit? And of course, the amazing hypocritical information and news that's being just rammed into our brain space. It's never ending, nonsensical, and just it's rage inducing, frankly. And I know if I start on a specific subject, there's a specific demographic that'll find it not to their interest because I'm talking either positively about someone they don't like or negatively, in reverse. Can't please everybody. Something that I really enjoyed about the last show that we did on Stuck in the Middle. Josh was there too, by the way. Lori, the lovely Lori from Global News Network, she, holding everybody's feet to the fire, she did something that some people in the chat, specifically two, so it wasn't like a mutiny in the live chat or anything, but it was disheartening to see. What has been like the mission statement of Stuck in the Middle all this time. And I am aware, by the way, this mic sucks. The mission statement is holding everybody accountable, okay? And I have been raised to believe that if you're going to claim a side, if you're going to say, hey, these are my people, then you're going to hold your people to the highest standard of accountability, right? Otherwise, you just default to the tribalism, right? Is this tired yet? Is this a tired saying? The two-party system, which is a fucking illusion, one party state. It's just really, really gut wrenching to see us play the game as we know it is organized. We're just like blind pawns, just going through the motions at this point. So instead of holding my own people, representatives, to the highest standard, and then being called a traitor when I call them out by my own tribalistic faction, I should default to the side that I'm not on and just say, look at them and only them. Fuck off. I'm so over the whole system as it is. You can't convince me that this turd is getting polished and it's looking any better than it ever has. Okay, so yeah, I am upset with this. What's the fucking bill that was just passed by our Lord and Savior Biden? What was it? Inflation Reduction Act, right? So now we got oh please, and if I'm being too hyperbolic, go ahead, fact check me, fact checkers and whatever, or just ignore the fact that I'm talking about somebody who shares the same letter in front of their name that you do on your fucking voter registration card. Let's just forget all the bullshit for a second and just call things for what they are. Who's just texting me? What is this? Okay. Anyway, oh look, it's spam. I'm on this app and it's making my life fuck off you too. So 86,000 IRS agents and arming them. Why? How? What? I never thought I'd see a world where people are suddenly applauding these three-letter agencies. People, and I'm gonna just for what the fuck it is here, okay? My friends on the left side, and people still, I don't know where I stand. Do you consider me to be lefty? I want free healthcare that fucking works, but I'm disenfranchised by the VA. I would like some protections, and yes, I do believe in a carbon tax for the highest emitters of pollution. Is that extremely radical and progressive of me? I don't know. You fucking tell me. Does it mean I don't fit in the box of one side or another? Because there's certainly some conservative ideals and novelties I've learned to kind of respect. And I definitely know if I had the freedom to choose a state in which to move to, it would not be a blue one. That's all. That's the facts. So you tell me what the fuck, how you perceive me and what I am to you. I know who I am. I know what I'm about. I'm not going to let other people's opinions or interpretations make the man. Okay? So, yeah, why are we suddenly, and if the shoe fits, you fucking wear it. The FBI raided Trump, and this is old news, right? Under the guise of documents. Now, I understand some of these documents. What something from Kim Jong Un? Is that right? I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. Oh, and this brings me back to the point. Sorry, I'm a ranter. Before I get into that, Lori, who when she was on, was getting shit for calling out facts that I didn't know about on Trump. Now, I tell you, if you are one of the people who got upset with these uncomfortable facts, you need to remove the uncomfortable bit because you are the party of facts over emotions, right? So if there's any dirt on Trump's past or name and his affiliation with Epstein, which conveniently goes relatively unnoticed or unsung, while we have treasure troves of pictures and information about them together, videos. Um, I guess it's taboo to talk about the Golden God in any negative light. Now I don't know all of the circumstances of Trump kicking out Epstein from Mar-a-Lago, but ask yourself, Ghislaine Maxwell was in fact getting kids or women, young women, from Mar-a-Lago and getting them over to the island, right? It was Trump complicit, or once it got too hot, which is what we say, then he kicked him out. So I think it takes a lot of positive speculation to assume he had no idea what was going on. I've never thought about it or spoken about it publicly, but seeing Lori, who is definitely the opposite of a liberal, her and I on paper do not get along in any form or function, but we are friends. And sometimes her lens of the conspiracy theory is a bit much for me, but sometimes some of that shit makes sense to me. Like Isaac Cappy and the Tom Hanks connection. She brought that up to me during a little debate. The Ellen DeGeneres' woman who was doing a documentary about human trafficking, which of course is going to that affects the kids. That's kids being trafficked, and she ends up. But I'm not conflating. I don't have the evidence. I've seen the same video that she provided, which was a naked Anne. I don't want to say her name wrong. Anne Hirsch or something. Ellen DeGeneres' wife was nude and got up from the gurney on the way to the hospital. I think that they found fentanyl, cocaine, and I don't know all the details. I heard there was a fire. I heard there was a car accident. Um, I cannot just go off footage and say, "Yep, I'm connecting the dots." She just did a documentary about human trafficking, and now she's dead o'clock, unalived. I don't have the substance to connect the dots, so I'm just gonna revert to it's still an open case. I can't just jump to a conclusion. I'll take any information suggested, but Isaac Cappy's rabbit hole and the whole thing with Tom Hanks, I learned enough, and I went through that whole journey, and it changed me. So yeah, call me fucking crazy. Now to the Trump thing, and one more thing, attacking Lori for attacking the person that you hold to be some savior or some false idol. I understand. He earned my respect, and I was a complete opposite from the right. I was the Bernie Sanders progressive. I'm the guy that people call the communist and a socialist supporter. When I'm nothing, there's nothing about me that makes me that. I just want progress. So hey, I've adopted the term progressive, and I really think we could do better with the VA, and from improving upon that and looking at models in other first world countries where the people don't have to choose between living their lives, going to work, or dying, or going to the hospital. I just don't think it's too radical to assume we could do better than where we're at. I am 37, and this is the second time I've had full insurance coverage. Okay, twice in my lifetime. I'll take all the accountability in the world, but I'm lucky to have been here this long, given all the things that I went through, the lung surgery and the injuries and the blah blah blah. That's the oh is me show. It is disheartening to see people get upset that know what the mission about Stuck in the Middle or even my moniker Progressive Patriot, two things that do not belong, coming together. My false optimism that is slowly diminishing. It was a fire and it was raging, but now it's dimming down to nothing but a flickering flame when I see there's nobody immune to having the person they root for being criticized. Like, you start criticizing Bernie Sanders, I will get defensive. Absolutely. Especially when you go on some bullshit. Oh, he's a part of the cabal. I mean, he's a millionaire, he's a billionaire. He's got a $3 million net worth, but I'm not here to defend Bernie Sanders. Sure, I'll even understand and empathize people that say he sold out. Okay, but he's still writing legislation and he's done far more work for a positive than fucking Biden. And that's the hill I'll die on forever and a day. Fuck off, $3 million, and now he's like part of the 1%. Fuck off. He was the part that shook up the establishment on the left that needs the most shaking up in my eyes, and Trump was the radical right element that shook up the establishment and the status quo on the right, the left and the right. That's the election that we deserved, but the coronation of HRC didn't allow it. So again, tearing down people that are known to criticize everyone and anyone and accept criticism to themselves, and if they happen to have their little light on the person that you hold to be infallible, nobody's infallible, nobody's perfect, nobody's a fucking angel, and especially if, like Lori said, they get to a certain level in wealth, banking, whatever the case, whatever deals are done. I didn't know about the connection between Trump and Soros. I didn't really think about how deep it went with his friendship with Epstein and Ghislaine. I didn't know. And wow, I'm surprised people didn't get even more inflamed or pissed off when he wished Ghislaine Maxwell well. What was that? When I think about it, like, what the fuck was that? If I had my real speculation helmet on at that time and I wasn't worried about pissing off our audience or demographic, I would have honestly asked that question. But I didn't. And for that, I am ashamed. I held back, and that is a pander. I was worried about upsetting people and losing subs. Fuck any of that. If any of what we do is going to go anywhere, I can't worry about the feelings of people. And isn't that what we all champion when we get behind our data and our facts, our precious data and our facts, right? So when it comes to medical data that doesn't make a certain jab look good, I want my left friends to shut the fuck up and listen to the data and get over this self-righteousness that seems to be implanted in everybody via indoctrination of the mainstream media. Yes, I'll say it, and I'll say it again. The mainstream media has made my left-leaning liberal friend base feel even more self-righteous than ever before. And even still, with all the information we have now in current day, they still seem to wear everything that they went through as a badge of honor. 0.8%, people. 0.8%. Never about the spread. It was about the severity and being hospitalized. And now, more about that. Monkeypox. I don't know. Am I allowed to say that out loud? So, that whole thing, isn't it? All right, it's weird, right? There's no tinfoil hat today, I promise. But is it not a little strange? Monkeypox comes through, and because of our politically correct culture, everybody's super worried about talking about the data and the facts. Hold on. For all this fire I'm going to spit, I got to put some water down this throat here. Check it out. Okay. Science, when it comes to the truth, facts, data, and science has become a 4-letter word. It's so strange. It's because it's conflated with the likes of Fauci and everybody that mishandled all the information from beginning to end. The shutdown that was unnecessary, the loss of jobs, the greatest transfer of wealth. I think we can talk about these things without worrying about being struck down. If we truly have any sense of freedom, please keep the illusion alive, YouTube. So monkeypox was downplayed quite a bit, but they were making it pretty clear on how it's given from one to another, right? I don't know. I need to be really sensitive about this, but my medical term with my, $3 degree here is lots of male butt sex. Yeah, I heard that's pretty much a main precursor in getting the monkeypox is not 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 keeping them sorry, not keeping those cheeks closed. The entry point. Yeah, I think have I laid it on thick enough? So the CDC, the WHO, and all the three-letter organizations came together, got the think tanks and the people, and think about all the tax dollars that these people have to utilize to go meet in the same fucking place, whether it be the UN or whatever fucking place that these rich assholes that pretend to give a shit about us go and talk about what's good for us. All the while, we remember the WHO had a whistleblower and she was in charge of the data, and for doing her job, she got the boot. Come on. They continue to treat us like we're dumb and like we can barely remember what happened yesterday, let alone 2 years ago. So we're supposed to trust these people who are via our tax dollars coming together and saying, yeah, no, so the mortality rate of this disease is pretty bad. People can die within a 1 to 3 day process. By the way, I'm speculating and I'm open to information. Don't strike me with medical misinformation. Is it not true to say that monkeypox is deadly? I saw a bit on Fox News of so the comments led me to believe that what I saw was something different than what it was, but it was, I'll tell you what I saw, and then I'll tell you what I was told. What I saw was an African American female, a black woman that works at a gas station that had monkeypox, and she was warning us that it was from touching a surface. It wasn't even from physical interaction. There was no sexual activity, as far as we know, and as far as she shared. And she was pretty nasty pictures and stuff. She was recovering, but yeah, all those bumps, man, it's pretty hectic, crazy, scary stuff. And so while all this is going on in the backdrop, and there's states of emergency, but like we're so used to it, it doesn't feel like there's any sense of urgency. We're already tired from everything that we just had to do from COVID, and some states have not really eased up on the mandates or the fear mongering or any of that. How many people did fucking actually die because of the malpractice of the early days in New Jersey? One of my family members is one of them, but I'm not going to use her fucking death as a means to gain attraction, okay? But I'll tell you this much. She passed away after being put on a ventilator without anybody around by her side because we were that stupid, scared, and malleable while the powers that be were all breaking the rules. They were having parties, renting out beaches and buildings and going to salons while telling us to stay inside 6 feet apart and don't visit your loved ones that are dying. That's what was happening. And so anyway, I'm bringing all that up to fast forward to monkeypox. So now all the think tanks and the people that get paid via our tax dollars and that make far more money than they should from grants and what have you, they come together, and is it to, I don't know, come up with a cure or come up with a natural dialogue for the public who have questions or something to that effect, or maybe give us a better understanding of the disease or something like that. I am not afraid of this shit. I'm tired of being afraid. That's unfortunate because one day maybe something that needs to have fear as a reaction will happen, but we'll be too fucking exhausted to have the appropriate reaction. Really, like, I can't help but feel, and this is tinfoil hat moment, I suppose. Just feels like, some very wealthy people, well connected wealthy people have access to a lot of resources and are just playing kind of fucking chess or checkers or something, and we're just on the bottom rung being moved around and influenced by everything that's coming through all the echo chambers and the fucking media. So they come together just to say, yeah, those people that love the butt sex might be offended, so let's maybe not call it monkeypox. Is that how it worked? That's not how it worked. No, there might be racial stigma, which is funny because when I heard monkeypox, I just thought of a fucking monkey and then the pox, and then the WHO and the media and everybody came together and inserted the idea of a racial stigma being involved in the name itself. And then all of a sudden, via proxy, because I'm watching the fucking news evolve or devolve, suddenly I'm like, oh, okay, I see what you mean there. Oh, that's silly. But now it's planted in my brain, so it's like, I'm not gonna call it a fucking psyop, but through their well-meaning actions, suddenly now monkeypox is a racial thing, and we have to rename it. And how many states are now on, so I don't know, fucking Code Red. Remember the color system after 9/11? Run fucking Mountain Dew Code Red, Pepsi level, fucking Sigma Dog Alpha. I don't know. Okay, but there's a couple of states of emergency or whatever the case, and I just can't help but shake or wonder, like, for one, we know that, well, I'll say, has it been played down because we've been so caught up in red tape and bureaucracy of words and feelings. Fuck your feelings if somebody hasn't told that to you today. And now, literally, data that can save lives has been handled with fucking pillows and gloves, and they're too cautious to let us have a informed reaction. And now there's people going on to the local news or CNN or Fox in this case, talking about how they got it at a gas station. Oh, in the comments it said that it was a trans woman. And then this is where I got to say, yep, fuck the right for this one. The people on the right. I said fuck the left earlier in the opening here. The people in the comments that were saying, uh, she's a trans, so God delivered her just punishment. She survived, so God did a shitty job. And y'all gotta chill the fuck out. Just like I was calling the left self-righteous for watching their media grandstanding and wearing a badge of honor for being a good little fucking soldier for what the media tells you to do. I'm gonna say the same to anybody that's on the evangelical side of the spectrum here and finds it necessary to condemn and judge people that are suffering in the name of a all-loving Lord, and saying, yeah, no, that's God's love and justice right there. That person, that's one of them, and they deserved it. So yeah, no, Stuck in the Middle is not only the name of the show, but it's a state of being. Call me a fencing cuck, and I do realize this, and no, I'm not fixating on the future coming to the point where we're gonna have to pick a side and then do whatever the fuck will be done. And I know bloodshed will be a part of that. I just don't know what level, and I will not pretend nor pander and assume that is what's going to happen. Do I think it's being pushed? Oh, for sure, yeah. Ask me to prove it. I just say, do the math yourself and look at how divided we are already. Before I remember that, long ago, you could know that you voted for a different person and break bread and have beer and all that, and maybe have a heated discussion or two at the table, but not going as far as unfriending and blocking people out of your lives because you voted for the orange man or you didn't vote him out. And that's a stance I can't ever respect. I'm voting just to get the guy out of office. That means I have not a care in the world about the person that's about to go in the office. We have a senile fucking vegetable in there right now. Are you happy? Is anybody happy? Apparently, there was a question, and I couldn't believe it. Somebody asked, do you really believe Biden was the most voted for president in the world? Somebody actually said yes. One person out of a few thousand. And wow, to that, I just say wow. Crazy fucking times. Let me see a little bit of news first, and let me check the chat. Oh, hi, people. I didn't realize. I really don't. I don't look at this. Hello, Shamrock. Hello, Holly, my dear old friend. Jamie, Indy, my good friends. I really wish I would have gone on Stuck in the Middle. I'm a little nervous about it. So aside from that, let me read something I got here because oh fuck, did I just close it? Okay, give me a moment, or let me play this audio. Oh, get me a strike. So I'm going to play very little of it. Let me be the first to say, I don't know how true this is. I have speculated that all things can be fucking false. Everything can be a lie. But I'm going to play this, and I'm going to cut it off at a point. I'm just going to read the title. I'm going to thank Silver Girl for sending this via the personal email, progressivepatriot44@gmail.com. I'm not going to play all of this. You'll get the consensus. I'm just going to say the phone call. That's the title. Okay? I'm not going to name the platform. You'll start to notice when I have to cut it off. So I wish I had a better way of doing this. So I'm going to put the mic to the speaker. Let's see how it sounds. Oh, good. I have a 4, 3, 2, 1 ad and goodbye close ad. All right. One of the most important phone calls you will ever hear. Okay. Let's get that volume all the way up. It's pretty loud. Let's get okay. Opinions expressed in this video, blah blah blah. Esoteric videos. Oh, they have to do the it's for entertainment. All right, here it is.
Yeah, hi. Are you a pharmacist?
Yes, how can I help?
Yeah, hey, I've got a question. My wife, against my wishes, brought my 7-year-old son in there a few days ago for a COVID jab, and he's now in the hospital with myocarditis.
This is not under any misdirection or medical misinformation. This is, as you can hear it, take it with a grain of salt, but it's literally a father explaining what medically happened to his 7-year-old son. So if I'm going to get struck down for telling the truth, at least I'll fucking feel self-righteous about it, right? Okay, here we go.
And I was obviously not very happy with you guys or with my wife. She told me that she was not told that was a potential side effect.
Listen to the response of the operator and or lady in charge of giving the poker.
So why wouldn't you have told her that?
Okay, sorry, so it's got a real side effect as well.
No, it's not that. No, it's not, because I've been doing research. It's common.
I could feel in the air that in that moment she was going to say, "You're not allowed to do the research. That's for the mainstream and the talking heads and the 3-letter agencies. Don't you dare educate yourself. No, bad, terrible, bad, well-informed citizen. No well-informed citizens allowed."
In the U.S., there's tens of thousands of them reported to the CDC.
I'm nervous about the stats, but you can look it up for yourself, right?
So why are you not telling parents this?
So myocarditis or whatever, it's a bad fucking heart reaction. Yeah, I don't know my medical terminology as well as some of you, but I'll let the tail of the tape continue till it gets to the point where I know I gotta kill it.
We might scare the parents and they don't want to get their child vaccinated.
Yeah,
Okay, so he's about to flip his shit, and she just said what you just heard. It might scare the parents, so we have, and I'm adding a word or two here, omitted detrimental information that is pretty much fatalistic and regarding the mortality of the child, your biological blood child. We have omitted data and possible effects because we don't want you to be afraid of getting it, and we get our $50 kickback per jab, and it's also the funding. So I'm gonna play just a second of his response. He's my hero, and I will also, for the sake of transparency and for the lords of YouTube, fair use, grain of salt. I don't know if this is real or not. I would hope that the powers that be in YouTube allow people to be self-informed and come to their own conclusions. You're not a mainstream news outlet, so please don't go that route here. Here's the father's response to, "We are too afraid to tell you the truth."
You don't want to scare the parents with something that is actually happening, that's happened to my kid. Are you out of your mind? Are you out of your mind? You don't want to scare them. You need to give them the right information so they can make a proper decision. What is wrong with you? You don't want to scare them. I'm recording this conversation as well, and this is going to a lawyer next. Thank you for admitting that.
There is a picture of the woman, allegedly, that had the cojones to say, or maybe was it a Freudian slip moment? Like, oh, yep, let me just accidentally tell the truth for once. I checked these because I'm worried somebody's going to say, oh, we can't hear you. So yeah, she told the truth, and she's like, oh, fuck. I never do that. So yeah, this was her inside voice was used on the outside, and she said, yeah, no. I know I put your child's life at risk, and I wasn't supposed to tell you that.
So why don't you tell them? When someone comes in there and says, hey, what can go wrong? What do you say? Sore arm?
I get nervous.
Ask before giving consent to give.
She asked what the side effects are.
Did she ask? I'm not sure because I wasn't there.
The good old I wasn't there. Your kid is gonna have a heart condition that regulates the duration of his life to 5 years, because that's exactly what we end up discovering in this very recorded altercation between the people that profit and the victim. So yeah, let me let it roll until I know I can't.
Supposed to tell people this can happen. Now my kid. So you know what the prognosis is? You know what it is? Possible death within 5 years. 20% of people with myocarditis die. It is a permanent damaged heart. It is not temporary. He's facing a heart transplant.
I'm so sorry. It sounds like Canada or Australia or some shit, right?
Because you didn't want to scare her. You know, no kids have died from COVID. Not a single healthy kid.
So, I think that the words speak for themselves. Okay, and I don't want to concern myself with getting stricken down. You guys see where that's going. He gives it to her, and he just lays the fucking truth down on the reality of their carelessness, their actions. And yeah, it gets to the point where he is attacking them because he knows that it is a for-profit system, and essentially the children, the human beings, the lives, the beating hearts and functioning brains that walk in there, they're nothing but a fucking number with a fucking arm that needs to get poked and nothing more. And we're still like making this shit mandatory over a 0.8% possibility of being hospitalized, not spreading it. Now I'm frankly more concerned about monkeypox than I am about COVID, because the mortality rate is just so much more diabolical. And now the information, I'm confused. I thought at first it was being reported like it only affects homosexuals. Well, apparently it's now from the surface, and if I had the fucking clip up, I could play the goddamn audio. But essentially, lo and behold, it has been revealed now. Now I don't know if it's fucking evolved into a different variant, but the exact thing that I was worried about, which is what they overhyped for COVID, is somebody that touches a surface, it can now be traced back and given to somebody else. This is a very deadly virus, but we're exhausted from being told to be afraid. And I'm not going to go with, look at the timing and all the other things that race through our minds when things happen, because I feel like the government and the people that do profiteer off of everything, putting our lives in fucking perpetual states of nightmares, forget that we have functioning brains. I really, really do. They really want us and expect us to act as stupid as possible and be like just the blind leading the blind, following the fucking blind. And whenever we are a dissenting voice or an opinion that is raised, and only thinking out loud, which is all I ever do on this channel, and I've been hit with a strike, not even for thinking or speculating or reading the fucking manifesto of a shooter that I had to delete. None of that. No. I'll fucking say it every time I go live, for reading a National Institute of Health government website quote by a fucking physician, scientist, biologist. And yes, it's an op-ed, but somebody who's far more well-informed than all of us combined, I'll go ahead and assume. And he signs off. What is the title, you ask? And I've been through this 1 million times. It is called The Truth About COVID. And essentially, and I contested it, and essentially the understanding is I'm not a doctor, so I cannot read medical information to you. What an insult. That was a doctor's fucking synopsis, conclusion. That's not their agenda. That's their experience. That's their opinion. They're very well-informed, statistical backing opinion, and it's still available. Go ahead and Google it, DuckDuckGo it, search engine the fuck out of thetruthAboutCovid.gov. It is a government fucking document, and that's what got this little channel a strike. Holy shit. Orwellian as fuck. So, yeah, I had this whole thing up about, it had Pelosi's face. Maybe that's why I just inadvertently closed it. Let me see if I can understand. All right, Biden not wants to. So this is old news, but I want to better understand this. This is a picture from 2020, but this is published. Not. Oh no. This was when it was still being thought about before it became legislation. So let's see. This might serve as interesting. The Biden administration is proposing, which has already passed, hiring 87,000 new workers. I need to get the truth about this. So, under fair use and open dialogue, I ask the IRS agents, what kind of weapons have they been given? And holy shit, is that not scary as a motherfucker? Now, I know the government was pretty pissed off because of the mass exodus of IRS agents that quit during the largest transfer of wealth. How convenient that the IRS decided to be like, nah, this job's too hard, while the richest people in the world got even richer and the poorest people got even poorer. And mom and pop shops and family owned businesses shut down like dominoes getting knocked down. How convenient. Like, so this is a connection I've only just made now. A little eureka spark moment. Oh, a bunch of the IRS are going to decide to quit now. And all the while, the most gross profiteering in the history of our country, greater than the Great Depression, occurred. Essentially, unchecked, unregulated. Okay, cool. So in the pipe already, this was from May 21st, 2021. This is apparently when it reached to an outlet, a news outlet, that this was in the pipe as a plan, and now it's already enacted. But that's scary to me. So now let's make the IRS more exciting. Let's make taxation more fun. And all the lies about it not impacting people that make this amount or that amount under $100,000, you don't have to worry about it. Well, somebody that wrote the bill is going to have to tell me what I've seen with my own two eyes is a lie, because I've seen projections, stats, and other people that are smarter than me, because that the media is always smarter than us, showed me all the graphs and all the reporting they could do, and showed me how this will impact people that make fucking 50,000 a year. I don't know. I'm preaching the gospel of I don't know, make it make sense. That's all. So let me shut the fuck up for a second. Okay, 87,000. What a number. New workers for the Internal Revenue, blah, 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 effectively doubling the agency's size as part of a plan to beef up enforcement efforts and find billions of dollars in tax revenue that go uncollected each year. Why don't you start at home, you fucking filthy animals? Start right at the Congress or the White House. Start it with Pelosi's husband alone, or Pelosi. Remember that clip when she was asked about her husband, insider trading, and her hands started shaking, and she's like, I don't know anything about that, and walked away during a press conference? Yeah. We don't see that, and we don't remember things like that. Start right fucking there. I promise you'll find a ton of money. So enforcement efforts would primarily target individuals and corporations with higher incomes and profits. That's the line of bullshit that's being fed. This bill has been altered, and I need to do my homework before I report it as truth, because I don't know the truth yet. The administration has suggested. They don't ever suggest. They fucking do. They do it behind closed doors while all these distractors are going off simultaneously. You're like, oh my God, COVID, monkeypox, oh my God, and my job, and the inflation, gas is fucking $6. Oh my God. And then we're supposed to notice when they're talking about legislation. And then but by the time we notice is effectively when I got this under my radar. It's already signed in, baby. We didn't have any fucking say. And these are our representatives, okay? What was it? It was a vote of 216 to 207, and every single Democrat, remember this shit, okay? Every fucking Democrat voted yes on this, and I believe 207 Republicans voted no. So we're clearly factioned and fractioned and tribalized, because this two-party system that's supposed to represent the whole of America, an entire disenfranchised population, they're saying, fuck that whole side that said one thing. We're going to do what we want. Well, fuck you. Fuck the entire party, the entire system. And at least they voted no, but that's all it is. And if they knew that they didn't have enough votes, what's the sense of even going forward and pretending like there's any kind of functioning democracy here? So the hiring, which would be part of President Joe Biden's overall $80 billion. Hey, I got an idea. IRS agents that are armed, why don't you cut the funding for this very project? Save yourself $80 billion. To increase enforcement efforts at the IRS would not happen all at once. Yeah, it's always a slow drip with you guys. Instead, it would be carried out in phases. Oh, I love phases. That's my favorite. Phases. Phase one, make it spark like an idea, let it be polarizing, make the people think that it's not going to come after working class citizens, and then slowly drip it until it is just that. until you're silent, until you can't be silent. But then it's illegal to not be silent. Yeah. Okay, so with a 15% growth in employment at the agency, yeah, we all care about the IRS staying employed. The move would help recoup and go beyond some of the employment losses the agency has seen over the past decade, mostly notably during the vid. The drop in employment at the agency has resulted in fewer audits. Oh, fucking Uncle Sam didn't get to fucking profit off of the tax dollars that we pay to fucking breathe. Oh, shit. Poor IRS. Tax collectors may be able to generate an additional $700 billion over the next decade alone. Yep, that I know I could sleep better at night now. Fuck everything else. We're in a great national debt, essentially owned by countries that are not our own. China, anybody. But let's go ahead and audit the fuck out of people making money in this country for this country. I won't have any hatred towards people that fuck around and offshore banking and all of the true elites that laugh all the way to the bank and are so disconnected from what an everyday American's life is like. Okay, but the lies it took to get to this point. The administration's aim for greater IRS enforcement and the net benefit. Let me see if they mention arming. See, because this was when it was being talked about and was finally given to the media. Let me see if they mention anything about arming them, because I guarantee you, I'm going to assume it now before I get to the bottom, there won't be a fucking word of it. That we only found out in real time when it's too late. Before we could organize any sort of protests or social media consciousness about this being written into the fucking bill and signed. And it's already signed. It's done. And somebody told me they can be armed with ARs. Don't misinformation me. Find out for yourselves. Elizabeth Warren, you fucking traitor. I got some feelings about that name in front of me. Of course, has received support from Democrats in Congress. Shocking. Senator Elizabeth Warren hailed the idea of increasing IRA. She was once anti-government, man. She was independent. Oh, you bitch. You fucking, I got no heroes left. I really don't. Like, she fucked up a long time ago. This is Pocahontas level fucking up. But damn. Noting that the enforcement efforts over the past 10 years of staffing decreases at the agency have led to less frequent audits for the wealthy with more frequent audits for marginalized communities. The IRS is so starved for resources that it targets people who are cheapest to audit, low-income taxpayers and often people of color. It's a race card. It's a race card. Nothing gets the hype machine going like a fucking good old divide and saying, if you don't support this, you're racist. Of course, it's a racial thing. It's not about getting your money. It's about the balance and desegregation of the classes. I don't fucking know. I'm just reading it. Economists have said, however, that the IRS is missing out on potentially large sums of money by not going after wealthy tax dodgers instead. I'm exhausted. Well, okay, research has found that the top 1% of tax dodgers avoid as much as $5 trillion over a decade. Representative, I'm sorry, this is a Democrat, also supported efforts, of course, to increase enforcement as the current system disproportionately affects working class families. Oh, right. Okay, why should a pipe fitter or teacher have to pay all their taxes while big companies just evade the IRS? Well, that's the question. Republicans have for decades attempted to discredit the IRS for good fucking reason, man. For good fucking See, this is why I know my enemy, right? They're very honest about what they're fucking around with, what their strategies are. It's the fucking DNC that are the sneaky little shits that I found myself supporting under the guise of Act Blue and when I went door to door for Bernie Sanders. And boy, was I depressed to learn where all my fucking donations and hard work ended up going at the end. So sure, I'll cop to my hero selling out. Can you do the same, like I asked earlier? The right has already begun efforts to stop Biden's plan. Too late. For greater scrutiny of wealthier Americans. Too late. A political action committee. Too late. has started running commercials aimed at garnering opposition. Too late, dude. Nope. You didn't start soon enough. But Republicans' motives for running such ads might be selfish. It's racist and it's selfish to not want an IRS that's 86,000 stronger under a bill that's what, $50 billion or $500 billion. I forget, what's money? What's in a wallet? Yeah, it's selfish and it's racist if you don't support the IRS having their firearms and more power and overreach. They're going for your Venmo, by the way. All those little apps that we use, like there's already a percentage that costs you to pay money. Well, now let's make it cost more to pay money when you owe money. Everybody wins except us. So yeah, Venmo and Cash App and things like that. This has been tucked in this little bill under the guise of, it's racist, and under the guise of it won't touch working class families. Somewhere in there, they're like, yeah, those little apps that mostly low income families or just everyday people use on a daily, they're gonna go and tax that even greater than they have before. There was a 5% fee. I forget. I barely use that shit. I'm a guy. I use my fucking card, and that's it. I got cash if I need it. Boom, done. But a lot of people use these things, and now they're gonna be taxed. So fantastic. I gotta find it in the bill, because how can they legally fucking justify this kind of shit? So I'm going down. Yep, Republicans are dirty, selfish fiends. Okay, and that's pretty much where it ends. Well, happy day. Well, everybody, the IRS, they're going to be armed, and they're going to take all the monies that they need, and working class citizens, fuck us. We're just going to keep on powering through, being exhausted by fear mongering, and what a day. Well, that's that. Okay. Let's see what the night holds for me. Thanks for sticking around. I hope to be on Stuck at Night, Jesus. Yeah, Stuck in the Middle soon enough with a panel channel link for people to jump in, join the fray, the conversation. Use your can, don't use your can, but use your voice. The voice is what matters. The person on the screen, that ain't shit. It's about the people that back us in doing what we do. And to that I say, fuck staying woke. Just be aware. Get aware, stay aware, educate yourselves, because I don't know how long it's going to last where we're allowed to do just that. Find your unifiers. Fuck the dividers. They're not meant to fraction us and faction us to the point where we hate one another. I'm out.